Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Breeze. Breezeway Productions The Breeze, where we bring you the latest in independent films and film festival news, and we continue our coverage of this year's Slamdance Film Festival, the 2023 edition, with an awesome film I'm very excited to talk about. And the film is called Starring Jerry as Himself. We have producer and actor Jon Hsu here with us and director Chen. How are you guys?
Good. How's it going,
Great.
guys? This is Law. I'm the director and starring Jerry as himself. It's a docu-fiction feature about a family documenting how their immigrant dad, regular immigrant dad, Jerry, who's this recently retired Florida man, was recruited by the Chinese police to be an undercover secret agent.
That's pretty awesome. That's a great logline for it. I was fortunate enough to catch the film, and I thought that it was an unbelievably awesome piece that's narrative docu style. So, John, I wanted to ask. I'll ask you this question: making this type of concept of a docu narrative style, how did was that ball started getting rolling, and like how did you put it together for this film?
Yeah, well, it all kind of started with me hearing about the story. I get a phone call from Jerry, who's my father, and he's telling me this crazy story of how he was recruited involving money laundering and um, requiring him to do wiretaps and how he's kept this a secret from the family for a while. And I just could not. I had so many questions. I could not understand half of what he was saying. I was like, okay, I need to fly down to you and talk to you and interview you on camera about what's going on. And so it started with interviews, just kind of understanding and documenting things that were happening, that happened to him, and in asking him, do you remember like some of the things that the Chinese police and the person that recruited you, like this main character, this inspector, um, uh, do you remember what they said to you? And he's like, yes, I can write it all down for you. And when he wrote it down, it was in screenplay format. It was like, like Courier New Font, like screenplay format.
Dialogue, character. It was, yeah.
Yes. And both Lawrence and I were like, how do you know how to do this? And he's like, oh yeah, well, not a big deal, but I wanted to be a playwright. I wanted to do screenplays and stuff when I came to America in the 70s. But I got a civil engineering job to support the family, raise the kids and stuff like that. And I'm like, how did you never ever like mention this before? Like, I always knew you encouraged me in my filmmaking, but I didn't know it was kind of like I was like somehow fulfilling his desires. He was living vicariously through me or something, but I just never knew that. He never revealed that to me until we were doing
Yeah,
this thing. And
John was
so
pretty amazed throughout this interview experience. I was surprised that I was John's first phone call when this happened. But we've been working together for over 10 years, and John was like, help me get to the bottom of this. What happened? So again, during this interview process, this story just got more and more fantastical, more unbelievable, and just stranger than fiction. So John and I both agreed we need to tell this story. It's very important to tell this story. But to your question, what's the format of it? Right? Is this a documentary? It began certainly as a documentary, but as we were documenting, we realized that all of the things had happened in the past already. So how do you tell that story? As a scripted feature, I don't know if I could find somebody that could play Jerry. There's like 2 to 3, Asian American stars in Hollywood that are Jerry's age. And I don't think we can get them, with just a phone call. So John and I have always wanted to make sort of interesting filmmaking choices. So we were like, Jerry, would you like to play yourself in this film? And Jerry said, yes, only if I get to be in a spy film, because I felt like Jason Bourne, I felt like James Bond, and I want the audience to feel the same way. So John and I were like, all right, let's make this documentary that feels like a spy thriller and starring Jerry as himself, but ultimately is a story about an immigrant kind of searching for the American dream.
Yeah, I think that was very well said. And when you talk about Jerry really getting the spotlight in this film, you can see in the poster, which is on IMDb, it's just straight up Jerry. And so it's like it's all Jerry in all of his glory. And I think that there was something about him that was really interestingly attractive and engaging, in the fact that I really cared about where this story was going. And that's why I was so heavily involved while I was watching it, because you kind of feel like you're brought in in the family aspect. Essentially, like you feel like you're a part of the family while you're watching it. Like you're a fly on the wall, but you're hearing a little bit of the stories, and you really get to know everybody of the characters in the film. So you had some interesting characters also that you brought in, like Jerry's ex-wife, that showcased some of her habits, and they're so the polar opposites. So tell me a little bit about their relationship, and then while all of this was unfolding, how that worked out with this situation. Whomever would like to take that.
Jon, it's your mom.
Yeah, I mean, like they were, so just growing up, I was always making like home movies with my family, like bringing in my brothers and anyone I could get in front of camera to be like an actor. And so it felt kind of natural to bring, like when I asked them to participate in the film, I don't think they gave it a second thought. Like they just said sure. And so that's how I got them involved. And yeah, your observation is 100% correct. Like growing up in my house, it was you guys are seeing what I saw growing up in my house, which is there's just two both amazing just parents encouraging me in different ways. Like my mother was always this artist archetype, like she fit everything. She's an interior designer, painter. Like she can freehand draw anything to like the most minute detail. She just has that eye. She like made dolls like out of fabric. Like she's just like a maker. Like I mean, she's just fabulous in everything she does and how she appears. Everything is fabulous. And then my father is just, he's what I would say many people would identify with as just like the father figure, brings home the bacon, like puts the time in, does some housework now and then, mows the lawn, and that's kind of it, like
it's picture perfect for seeing how opposites can attract, because you're seeing how they are completely like black and white with the way that they meld with almost everything. So I thought that was fascinating to learn about your growing up in this household. And then back to the story, I think that it's a wonderful adventure. I definitely enjoyed watching it, and I'm rooting for you guys for this film. Do you know when and where this film will be screening at Slamdance this year?
Yeah, so we're going to be opening kind of like opening weekend, premiering Saturday, January 21st, 7:30 p.m., Treasure Mountain Inn, Park City, Utah. If you're in town, be there. That would be great. I'd love to share the story with you guys.
Awesome. Again, I will also sign off saying that this was a wonderful film. I truly enjoyed it, and I definitely recommend for people to go and check it out. Starring Jerry as himself, which will be playing at Slamdance this year. And I want to thank you, gentlemen, for joining me, Jon Hsu and Law Chen, to talk about your film starring Jerry as himself.
Thank you so much, Alex.